Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shrutis Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Ahankaralaye Suptau Bhaved Dehopyachetanaha Ahankara Vikasardhaha Swapna Sarvastu Jagaraha. So that is Ahankara Vikasardhaha, not Ahankara Vikasarthaha, okay? It is Ardha, half. So this study session of 3 days, the retreat, is devoted to understanding of Sakshi and egotism in oneself. That is the topic. So if that much we could get, we are blessed. Sakshi in us, vis-a-vis the egotism in us. So the Acharya is continuing with egotism in the 3 states of human existence, namely the waking, dream and sleep. You see, look at the sleep. In sleep, there is no ego. Why ego is not there? Because ego resolves. Why ego resolves? Because the mind resolves. So ego is the child of the mind. Mind manufactures the ego. Ego is not the original. Original is Atma. Original means the source of all. Origin becomes original. So the source, the light, that is not ego. That has nothing. That is not ego. And there is no ego in it also. It is impersonal. That's why you look at yourself. You are not a person all the time. Even during waking state, you are not a person all the time. In your personality, so you are a person only when you are self-conscious. You know that? When you are self-conscious, you are a person. What are the states of states that precipitate that self-conscious entity? Desire. Suppose you have a desire, you become an egotistic person. Fear, you become an egotistic person. So desire and fear, they are the main things. And a few things associated with desire and fear, like desire is associated with hope, anticipation, expectation, all that is desire. They all make you, convert you into a person. And fear, worry, and anxiety, these are all one group. They make you a person. So, when you are desireless, and all the things associated with the desire are absent, desireless, and then when you are fearless, anxiety, insecurity, they are all absent. So what happens to you? You are no more a person that you imagine yourself to be. When you are not the person, then what will happen? You are the impersonal. Impersonal what? Impersonal awareness, which is Brahman. Brahman is so close. You don't get it for 2 reasons. One, you look for Brahman too far from the source. It is like one mother was holding her child in her lap and searching for the child in the town or in the village. This is a Telugu proverb, okay? So, or the lady or the proverbial queen had her diamond necklace in the neck, but searching for it in the entire palace. So, you are looking for the truth. Truth is the name given to Brahman, the real. That is the God. That is the God, if you will. So, if you are looking for it too far away from you, you look for it outside. And you look for it in concepts. Concepts are mental projections. You search for God in the mental concepts, and you search for God in the unreal world. That is what you do. That's why you don't get it. You are looking too far away from the source, from the origin. That is one reason. The second reason is You just, the conditioning about God, the condition, it comes with a huge conditioning. The culture, the religion, and then so the dance, drama, music, whatnot, everything is intertwined with religion. And in India, religion is the mainstream. Everything is religion. In India, you don't have tourism, you only have pilgrimage. You don't have carnivals, you would only have goddess-related melas. It is all religion. So, therefore, this religious conditioning, you bring all of that into Vedanta. And now, in religious conditioning, what is God? He is other than you, He is superior to you, He is away from you, and He is in Vaikuntha or in Kailasa. You bring all of that conditioning into it. And therefore, when the Acharya tells that Sakshi, Sakala Buddhi Pratyaya Sakshi, the witness of all the movement of the mind, called Atma, is Brahman, you cannot believe it. Rather, you don't want to believe it. These are the two reasons why you fail to appreciate your own divinity. Therefore, I started with desireless and fearless. Desire and fear are the focal points of the egotism, the personality. When you dismiss both, there also you resist. Suppose I say desire, how can we be desireless? Arey appa, kya baat hai? You should not resist like that. When the Acharya is saying desireless, Sri Krishna is saying desireless, you want to resist that. What kind of attitude it is? So, when you keep an open mind and become desireless and hence fearless, you try desireless, you will not know what is fear. You go together. So you become desireless and hence fearless, and hence you are no more a persona, and hence you become impersonal awareness. That is the divinity, that is the Brahman. It is as simple as that. Therefore, everything revolves around the persona, the limited person, the egotistic person, manufactured out of desires and fears by the mind. Everything revolves around it. And as the mind resolves, laya is resolution, egotism resolves, and then the ego is always connected to the body. You should know that. Aham karomi, that is the ego. Ahankaraha. So I do is the ego. You have this I do sense only when you identify with the body. We have seen that. Therefore, so the ego sense, which is same as the persona, and then the body, they are together. You are the ego in identification with the body. You are the body, therefore you are identifying with it, and therefore you are the ego. They are together. It's a package. It's a package. Ego and the body and doership. And then because you are a doer, karta, therefore you are a bhokta, enjoyership. All of that is a package. And then suppose the body becomes sick. Just I am extending the package a little more. The blessed thing has to become sick one day or the other, you know. There is nothing called perfect health in this world. So you see, don't rush for all these tests and all that. Because you are all right, you are normal, you go for a test and return as a sick man, sick person. Don't do this kind of a mistake, okay? So, anyway, so you add this package, take sickness. Suppose, which becomes sick? The body becomes sick. Not even the body, one organ of the body becomes sick, but the entire body has that effect. The physiology gets disturbed, and so the body is sick. It is the body which is sick, not you, unless you identify. You are not a patient until you identify with the sickness of the body. The body, it's a sickness, you identify and become a patient. Suppose you don't identify, the sickness may linger, but you are not a patient anymore. It is like your car. The very simple example, if you understand. Suppose your car developed some malfunction. So it is making some unwanted sound. Kir, 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 some sound is doing it is. then immediately you get worried. Why should you get worried? Because you are the car. That's why. So, if that is how it works with the car, what to speak of the body? Okay? So, therefore, the sickness of the body, it can remain as the sickness of the body. So, you can go to the doctor saying, oh doctor, this body, you should use that language. Language also has to be corrected. So, verbally also be right. So, Doctor Saab, this body seems to have some problem. Will you do some tinkering with that? That is enough. He will do it. And whatever happens, happens. You cannot guarantee anything. Even the doctors cannot guarantee anything. Doctors have a judgment call. One doctor says surgery, another doctor says surgery is not necessary. Till now they could not come to an asserted or a conclusion, a well ascertained conclusion. They could not come to till now about the knee replacement. You know that? Knee replacement is not a valid treatment in UK and Europe. That is what my friend tells me. and a few other things. They are not valid treatment. They are very valid in India and America. So, because all you people come here and take back. That is the reason. So, therefore anyway, sickness of the body, identify and become a patient. All of that is a package. Fortunately, that package vanishes or resolves when you go to sleep. That's why the sick person while sleeping is not a sick person anymore. He is not a patient anymore. He has to wake up and become awake, become aware, and then become aware of the body. All of this happens instantly. So become aware of the body, identify with it, and recognize, become aware of the sickness, identify with that also, and then label himself or herself as, I am a patient. So, this identification is not going to help. It just doesn't help. Therefore, the Acharya is saying, Suptau in deep sleep, Ahankaralaye, as the egotism resolves, because the egotism is invariably associated with the body and identification, etc., the body, therefore, body also resolves. And the body which is alive, the body is alive. Now, the body is not life. Body is it's a dead body, you know that? These are some of the things which people have to pay attention to. Once Ramana Maharshi was going for a walk. It is recorded. So he is walking. In that small place he was walking. Along, and 2-3 devotees are always associated with him. He needs assistance. He used to walk with a cane. And then there was, in those days somebody died and 4 people are carrying the body to cremation ground. And so somebody, Ramana Maharshi saw it. Whatever, to make it the essence of it is, Maharshi says, oh, 4 bodies are, 4 cadavers are carrying 1 cadaver. That is what he says. So, body is dead. Even before it dies, it is dead. So what should we do then? What should we do about it? You become dead to the body. That is my advice. If you like it or not, I don't know. You die to the body. This is called psychological death. There is an argument about it. Body will die, right? Body will die. Sooner or later, body will die. Why not you die to the body now itself? That is the argument. Because the blessed thing is anyway going to die. So I am dead to the body. From this moment onwards, I am dead to the body. So psychological death, not physical death, psychological death. So whether you like it or not, the psychological death is happening every day in deep sleep. The mind resolves, the body is not there, the body which is supposed to be alive and all that, the body which is husband, which is father. Who is husband? So whose husband? Body is husband. And who is husband? Body is the husband. So you don't want to see these things and so decorate the body psychologically. Kya baat hai bhai? So that is not Vedanta. The first things first. So body is a dead body. Even before it is dead, it is dead. Even now it is dead. So you know the skin. What is skin? What do you think of skin? They call it dermis or epidermis? I think they call it epidermis. Upper one is epidermis. Do you know what is epidermis? Epidermis is a conglomerate of dead cells. That is what it is. Already entire skin is dead. The inner skin is still living. So what are you saying? What are you saying? Anyway, I am making a big deal of it. Please bear with me. So as you go into sleep, the body is not there, the sickness is not there, the ego is not there, identification is not there, patient is not there, the entire package vanishes. And why to describe it? You can make it vanish even in the waking state. That's why. What is happening? You are happy in sleep, right? You are happy in sleep. Why don't you learn to be happy in the waking state also? That is moksha. Okay? In sleep everybody is happy. But in waking state everybody is unhappy. That is the problem. Therefore, we study the deep sleep very closely. So deep sleep, ahankara resolves, body is not there, body is achetana, it is dead. So body is not a knowing entity. What is the difference between chetana and jada? Chetana is the knowing entity. In the waking state, body appears as though it is the knowing entity, chetana. Like it is hot. Who knows that it is hot? I know. I know means what? I am the body. Body knows, which means I know. So now suddenly the body has become chetana in the waking state. Since when it has become chetana? Since you started identifying with it. Therefore, in the waking state, the body which is supposed to be chetana because of identification, now there is no identification. That's why there is no ego. Identification is same as ego. Ego is identification and vice versa. So it is not there. The body is dead, achetanaha. That's why, you see, when the mosquitoes bite in India, wherever there are mosquitoes, when the mosquitoes bite, you will feel the mosquito bites next day morning. Oh, mosquito bite here, mosquito bite here. So because body doesn't feel anything during sleep, it has to wake up, then only you will feel. Okay, once I went to a town and then I slept. Next day morning I got up and then put the light on. I saw a few mosquitoes dead on the bed sheet. Ayyo, what happened to these mosquitoes? They were crushed under the body. Then I looked at the body, they have beaten the body also. So the blessed body, it has become insentient, jada. And that is how it happens in sleep. So jada means it doesn't know itself, it doesn't know anything else. That is jada. Chetana is it knows itself and it knows other things also. Therefore, body appears to be chetana in the waking state because of association with Atma. That's why it appears chetana. It is not by itself chetana. But anyway, it appears chetana, but in sleep it becomes achetana, jada. Why so? Mind resolved, ahankara resolved. So, you have to understand this ahankara. And so, in dream, the entire verse is devoted to ahankara, the ego. In dream, the ahankara, it blossoms. Blossoms or blooms, I can say both, I suppose. The ahankara blooms, but only halfway. So, the bud and the flower. Bud is, it is totally shrunk. Flower is totally in bloom, right? But in between, there is a halfway, 50-50 way. There is always 50-50 in between. So, the deep sleep, the ahankara under the body, it is all zero. No ahankara, no body, and so. Okay? Do you know what? One person asked Ramana Maharshi, in the talks with Ramana Maharshi you find these things. Sir, I am very unhappy. So they go to the Mahatmas and present their problem and expect some answer from the Mahatma, okay? Only thing is Ramana Maharshi doesn't see Jatakam and all that, okay? So he asked, I am very unhappy for some reason. Then he wants Maharshi's blessing. So it is believed that Maharshi blesses, the unhappiness will go away. It's only a matter of belief, nothing else. So you have to bless, then the unhappiness will go away. So, but you are not willing to bless yourself, and Maharshi has to bless. Assuming that the Maharshi blesses, you will put blocks also to that blessing. How you will lose your happiness? Anyway, so the Maharshi said, okay, I will bless, all right, but you tell me, since when you are unhappy? Then he said, since 10 days, 15 days, I am unhappy. Not like that. Today, when you started becoming unhappy, you tell. When you became unhappy today. Today, when I became unhappy, I am unhappy all the day. No, not like that. You look at yourself and tell me, when did you get up today morning at 5:45? When did you become unhappy at 5:46? Okay? That is the answer. Now, you tell me in sleep, were you unhappy? No. The moment you wake up, and then a little gap you give for identification process to put in to happen, then you are unhappy, right? So what is it that was not there in sleep, and what is it that is there in sleep, that is there in the waking state? So that becomes the cause of unhappiness, right? So what is that? He asked. Then this man has no answer. Maharshi himself supplied the answer. Ahankara. Ahankara was not there in sleep, and there was no unhappiness in sleep. There was no dukkha. The moment you wake up, very soon, ahankara has come and occupied its seat, and now you are unhappy. Therefore, what has caused your unhappiness? What has caused? Wife has caused, or society has caused, our political party has caused, our stars have caused, our planets have caused. What have caused? Ahankara has caused. You attribute the causes of unhappiness to all these things. That's why I gave the list. They are not cause of unhappiness. Your egotism is the cause of your unhappiness. Very simple. Mathematics. So, when A is there, B is there. When A is not there, B is not there. Therefore, A is the origin of B. Very simple. Set theory. Very simple. Okay? Therefore, ahankara is the source of sorrow. So, that's why in sleep there is no ahankara, there is no sorrow. And if you reproduce that sleep experience in the waking state, your sorrow will vanish that moment. How to reproduce? Become egoless. It's not difficult. You get a knack of it, you can become egoless. So, what Acharya is saying, in dream also we become unhappy. For a short time. Dream, it lasts for a few minutes, not more than that. But it may appear as if hours and years and all gone. The dream time scale is different. But from the waking state point of view, from the clock point of view, dream may last minutes, not hours. And during that short time, so the ahankara doesn't have an opportunity to bloom completely. Also, in dream the body is not as tangible as it is in the waking state. The reason is, in dream, only the mind woke up halfway. The eyesight is not there. The ears are sleeping, the eyes are sleeping, the skin is sleeping, all the 5 sense organs are still sleeping. Only the mind woke up. Therefore, mind doesn't have the advantage of the inputs from the 5 sense organs. And therefore, it is a very fuzzy state, very nebulous kind of a state, a dream. So nothing is very clear, it is not tangible. It is kind of nebulous, as I told you, like a cloud. Therefore, in that experience, the ego is there, but not as strong. And hence, the unhappiness is there, but very fleeting, not very strong. This is how you connect the bondage of samsara with the ego. So when ego is not there, there is no unhappiness, there is no sorrow. When ego is half awake, the sorrow is also relatively less intense. And when the ego is in full bloom, sarvastu jagaraha, sarvaha, the entire ego is in place, that is the waking state, then we are firmly in the grip of samsara, bondage. This is how it is happening. This is all the way the movement of ego between sleep, dream and waking state. They are presented in a sequence, but they need not happen in that sequence. Okay? It's not that you go into sleep, then you get to dream, then you wake up. It is not like that. It's not like that. You go to sleep, you wake up. You go back to sleep again and go into dream. And from dream you may wake up. If it is a nightmare, you will wake up. If it is some simple dream, it will end and you go back to sleep. So there is no sequence between these things. But the correlation is very, in the Acharya puts them in a sequence. Therefore the correlation is between ego, body, sorrow and bondage. These things are very important. Because as the age comes, so the disability associated with age, and most of the disability is psychological, you know that. The old age syndrome or problem is a lot of it is psychological. Lot of it is psychological. And only 10%, let me put some percentages, 10% of it is physical. 90% is psychological. That means it is theoretically possible to overcome the problems, the trouble, the sorrow and the disability associated with old age by addressing the issue of body identification, which is the ego. That's why Mahatmas, they do become sick, but they don't suffer as much. And also generally, once the ego is not there, you are impersonal. Ego is not there means you are impersonal awareness. You know everything, you see everything, you do, all functions happen, natural thing happens naturally, even though you are not a person. But you seldom become sick. And even when you are likely to become sick for some reason or the other, that is the body. And then body has its dynamic, so it has to become sick, therefore it becomes sick. And then there is a thing called prarabdha karma, which makes the body sick, sometimes even prematurely. So then you will be able to manage the sickness very graciously and with a kind of sobriety and a quietude, you will be able to manage the sickness. What more we want? Therefore, the graph of ego, which is beautifully described in this verse, in association with the earlier verse also, so it is worth examining it. Also, we are, as students of Vedanta, we are striving for some wisdom. That is, you say wisdom, that is better. Okay? Because you suppose you say knowledge, you can still say knowledge, but that word knowledge means wisdom. Okay? Otherwise, if it is cerebral, you make it cerebral, it doesn't help. The content of the Your Vedanta, if it is the content of the brain cells, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help. You see, Ramana Maharshi used to say, people talk of something going up, right? They talk of it, right? Mooladhara, Manipura, Swadhisthana. There are two schools in that again. First Swadhisthana, then Manipura, or first Manipura, then Swadhisthana. There are two schools within that. Because it is all conceptual, you know. And then Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna, Sahasrara. So you have to go up and up and up and you have to go into the head. Ramana Maharshi said, Arepa, you are wrong, you don't do that. You do not want to go into head. You want to come down into the heart. Therefore, this ascending thing, you forget about it. You don't need any ascendance. You need to descend from head to heart. Therefore, you have all your Vedanta in the head, it doesn't help you. It has to descend into the heart, where it becomes wisdom. Okay? And then, not only it does not help in the head when it is cerebral, but also it becomes a bondage, a burden, I tell you. Therefore, take care, bring it down to the heart. Don't be so logical a person. I'm not suggesting be illogical, okay? Don't misinterpret me. So don't be such a logical guy, be a loving guy. Love wins, logic loses. Wife and husband also the same. Father, son also the same. All relations the same. Love wins, logic loses. You tell logic to the other person, immediately he will become alert and stiffen and ready to counter. Put the logic aside and show some love, it will be an entirely different situation. So go to the heart. Don't be in the head. Don't be head people. Be the heart people. So wisdom and high thinking. You should noble thoughts. Anoyantu kratavaha bhadrah kratavaha vishvataha. That is the Rigveda mantra. So may all noble thoughts come towards us. That is the prayer. Prayer should be like that. Not trahimam pahimam. Okay? Anoyantu kratavo bhadraha vishvataha. From all sides. Prayer must sound uplifting. So anyway, such noble thoughts and wisdom, they do not emanate unless the idea of ego is got rid of. You have to do it. This small self, this egotistic self must be effaced. Then only the self-knowledge dawns. That is the truth. So, if you study Vedanta and do not understand the spirit of Vedanta, then you keep the ego going, and then you embellish the ego, make it stronger, then your Vedanta, there is a name for it. Vedanta, taken into the head, and it doesn't efface ego, but it strengthens ego. The name is mental dyspepsia. You ask me what is dyspepsia, I know it very well. You eat food and it will be sitting there. And it starts dancing also sometimes. Dyspepsia. So the food is very good food. Very well prepared, nutritious, hygienic food, but it has gone into dyspepsia. Similarly, Vedanta, Tattvavidananda, everything is great, but it has gone into mental dyspepsia. Don't allow that. The villain of the piece is ego. Do away with your egotism. Egotism has another name, selfishness. Nobody likes selfish people, you know that? Suppose 5-6 people are there. One of them is very selfless and helpful. Everybody loves him. But one person is very selfish. They keep away from him. So, very common thing it is. Therefore, Do away with the selfishness and the egotism, and thereby, that is enough, thereby know yourself. What can be simpler than that? So you see, the names, so-and-so name, the attributes. So, like Maharaj, Swamiji Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, such attributes, the names, and then degrees, MA, MSc, PhD, degrees, then caste, Brahmanaha, Vaishyaha, Kshatriyaha, etc. caste, and then occupation, a doctor, engineer, and then a teacher. Teacher is occupation, and it's a title. And we are not supposed to hold on to that title with so much gusto. And so I am giving you the various facets of the ego. Are you counting? Names, attributes, degrees, caste, occupation or profession. Then I reside in New York. I am a New Yorker. I am a Californian. Kya baat hai? Body, even body is not Californian. And what is California? Is it not a concept in your head? California, where is California? There is no California. There is Prithvi. So, therefore, resident of this place, oh, we reside in Hrishikesh. So what happens? You become more egotistic. And if you get a bug, then all your ego will be wiped out. Hrishikesh means bug. I got it from Hrishikesh. So, this is the ego. These characteristics, I counted 5 or 6, I lost the count. They are not you. They do not constitute you. No, they make the ego. You are not the egotistic self. They are not you. You have to get into your system. They are not myself. So, you can realize God now and here by effacing or wiping out, called effacement. So, effacing of ego. So, then one more thing I will tell. So, I have another 15 minutes. So, whatever is in my chest, I have to put before you. So, you hear Aham Brahmasmi. What do you think about Aham? And what is your idea of Brahma? So, how this egotistic self can be the same as Brahma? So, as long as the Brahma is personal God, this also people should understand. So, study Vedanta for a decade and say, where are you going? To India. India where? To that village. Why the village? Because my God is in that village. Your God is in the village? Huh? Is that Vedanta? Suppose I say, my God is in Andhra Pradesh. Kya baat hai bhai? I suppose God is everywhere. So this personal God, if Brahma is the personal God, and if Aham is the personal self, the egotistic self, got it? Then Aham Brahmasmi is the worst blasphemic statement. There cannot be a worse blasphemy than that. But if Brahma is not personal God, it is the universal Godhead, which rises above all distinctions of caste, creed, race, religion and gender. That is Brahma. And Aham is the impersonal self, awareness pure. Then Aham Brahmasmi is the most profound truth that the humankind can ever discover. Therefore, you have to understand Aham Brahmasmi correctly. And the way to do it is just efface or erase, if you will, the egotistic self. And so Vedanta aims at eradication of the sense of mine and thine. That is the egotistic self. The sense of mama and me. So, nirmamo nirahankaraha. The mine and thine, that sense of separation has to be eradicated when you study Vedanta. And you have to rise above your ego. You come as an egotistic self to Vedanta, but by the time you learn a little, you should rise above that egotistic self. You see, I am done with the verse. I discuss a little more about ego and finish the topic. The topic is Sakshi versus ego, the patron's retreat. That is the topic. Let us do the meaning of that verse. Suptau, in deep sleep. Ahankaralaye, as the egotism resolves. Dehaha api, even the body. Achetanaha, insentient. Bhavet becomes. Very simple. Okay? Ahankara vikasardha, the halfway blooming of the ego is swapnaha, dream. Two, on the other hand, sarvaha, all the way blooming, is jagaraha, the waking state. There are students of Sanskrit, I see them here and there. So I want to keep their Sanskrit going. So, therefore, the ego comes with passions, certain passions. I passionately love shopping. That is ego's passion. Why should you shop? You should pick up a few things that you need, that is fine. But shopping should not become a passion. For that matter, anything should not be passion. Passion means what? You are attached to it very deeply. That is what passion is. You should not be attached to anything very deeply. In fact, you should not be attached to anything even superficially. Right? So that passion, egotistic passion, oh, I love pizza. That should not be there. I eat pizza maybe, that is all right. These passions should not be there. Because ego comes with passions. There is a story of Bhasmasura, I remember suddenly. There is a Rakshasa, Asura. Asura, you know what is Asura? Asushu ramante it Asuraha. Asuraha means the enjoyment people. They are the Asuras. The Asuras come with suit, boot and all that. They are found in board meetings and all that. Big company board meetings. They are all Asuras. Because Asushu ramante. These Asuras, so there was one Asura. Some name he has got. He performed worship. Asuras perform worships. Poor people, what worship they will perform? Suppose you want to do kalyanam to God, it costs $2,000. Who will perform it? Only Asuras will perform it. Simple people don't even think of it. So you want to do God, marriage of God. Buddhas. His own marriage is not. People don't have any thinking faculty left in them. All surrendered to the saṁsāra and ajnana. Anyway, so therefore this Asura, he performed great penance, all great worships, etc. he did. Now poor God has to oblige him. What else can God do? If you provide lots of favors to the political leader, now the political leader is obliged to you. So now the God is obliged to this Asura. You know all the stories, folklore stories. So, and then God appeared. Dear son, God addresses the Asura as dear son. Real devotee he never addresses, but the asura he addresses. Dear son, please seek a boon. Then this man sought the boon. On whosoever person's head I put my hand, he should turn to ashes. That is the asura. In this country, there are some people, they go and put their head on a company, that company will vanish. That will be digested or dissolved. What of those things? These are the asuras. And so this asura, so he got the boon. Then the poor god, he was hesitant what kind of a boon it is, but he is obliged. He cannot say no, because he received all the worships. Now he cannot say no when it comes to payback. Yeah, what do you think? The kamya karmas, that is the lot of the kamya karmas. Anyway, to finish the story, in between commentary on the story also, but then finish the story. So God grudgingly, hesitatingly said, okay, I grant the boon. Then he got up. Because for sitting and do worship, no, he got up. Because he got his boon and stretched his hand to put on the head of God. Then the God started running. What a story. Some of these stories leave some nausea in your heart. You are demeaning the God. What kind of a story it is? Is it Purana that demeans the God? What a silly story. Anyway, to finish the story, God is running and this man is running behind God. And there is a second God. You have to think about all these things. And the first God and second God are always in competition, but when asuras come, they collude, they come together. It is like fraternity. And so that God thought, oh, this God is in deep trouble because of this asura, giving a boon without thinking. So let me save him. So you know the story. To make a long story short, finally the second God comes and convinces the asura to put his hand on his head. He puts the hand on his head and he turns to ashes. Bhasmasura. Do you know who is Bhasmasura? Your ego is the Bhasmasura. The ego that we entertain in our hearts for whatever reason. You are a scholar and then a scholarly ego. Rich man, it is called a rich man's ego. So, sometimes a poor man also has ego, poor man's ego. So the ego which you entertain so much in the heart, you means not you, that is a way of speaking. You keep it with so much enthusiasm that will turn our life into ashes. So ego is the Bhasmasura. And the only screen between us and the Godhead is the ego. Just do away with your ego. So, what is ego? Ego is always after petty gains. You know that? Ego, its passions, its gains, its desires are all petty. There is nothing worthwhile in it. Ego prays, give me money. Dhanandehi. Give me celebrity status. Yeshodehi. Kill my enemies. Kaun sa prayer hai it is? So, therefore, you make all people subservient to me. Is it a prayer? What a pitiable thing it is. And so, this ego, once you are caught in that ego and its petty gains and its passions, so you are in deep trouble. You will not be able to pay attention to the higher things or noble things. It is said, so a man treading the forest in search of mushrooms misses the pine trees. Did you get that proverb? So anyway, so he is always looking under his feet for mushroom and he is not aware of the soaring pine trees, the man in the forest. We are like that. There is the Godhead in us, ready to soar to the sky, to the heavens, and then we are looking underneath the feet for mushrooms. That is the way ego functions. Its passions, its petty gains are all worthless. Therefore, you are not the ego. Shri Krishna, anahankara eva cha. He has put it as one of the qualifications, somewhere in Gita, I think in 13th chapter, anahankara eva cha. So please take care that the ahankara, the ego, vanishes from the system. Therefore, and also, when the ego is diluted, it becomes weak even. The mind becomes more and more quiet. Because egotistic mind is necessarily agitated. Now the mind becomes quiet as the ego becomes dilute. So the test, you know what is the test for the ego becoming weak? The test is when the other person tries to insult you, you do not get hurt. That is the acid test. The insult goes above the head. It doesn't hit you. That means because all hurts happen to the ego only. And it is said, Bhagavan created ego for the sake of getting hurt only. So if you are getting hurt, you have to examine your ego a little more cautiously. You are in trouble. But suppose you are an attempt is made to hurt you, but you remain smiling, you are not hurt. Nobody can hurt me. You try to hurt me, I will see. So if that is the attitude, that means you do not have ego. Therefore, so anahankara eva cha. When the ego becomes weak, the mind becomes quiet. When the mind becomes quiet, you discover, not some theoretical presentation, you discover that you are the witness, Sakshi. You are not the egotistic person anymore. You are the Sakshi. Sakshi of what? Sakshi of the movement of thoughts. Sakshi of the body and its dynamic. Sakshi of the family, society and its dynamic. It's a phenomenal world. Everything is in flux. And you are the immobile, immutable Sakshi of this phenomenal world, beginning with mind to the world outside. You are the Sakshi. Not just a book saying it or the teaching saying it. You discover yourself as the Sakshi. You know deep within you that I am the Sakshi. That is the discovery, and in that discovery you are liberated. Okay? And whatever wrong identification of the ego I was talking, Bhranti Janyam, that delusion, it just snaps. And you emerge as the pure witness. So, suppose, just because I mentioned it, I am giving you a kind of a thumb rule. Suppose somebody says something unpalatable to you. Suppose somebody says. You get immediately hurt. Right away you get hurt and react. That is the ego reacting. Don't do that. You go into, from the mind you raise one step above and pay attention. The other person is saying something, you pay attention to that. In attention, there is no ego. Attention is Sakshi. There is no ego. And therefore, the other person may be trying to hurt you, but you discover that you are not getting hurt. There is a smile on your face. You are not getting hurt. Somebody told me, oh, you are a fool. I was looking at him with a smile. Just I am giving you some example. And he was annoyed. Hey, why are you smiling? That is his problem, you know. So then I looked at myself, am I a fool? No, I am not a fool. So I smile a little more. So freedom from ego is freedom from all bondage of samsara. And it is freedom from the travails of human existence on this planet. And it is moksha. Nirmamo nirahankaraha sashantim adhigacchati. So how to reach that nirmamo nirahankaraha? The line above in Gita. So the line above says, so vihaya kaman yas sarvan. Again you come back to the square one. So as you become desireless, pumanscharati nispruhaha. That is the verse. So you become desireless, passionless. Spruha is passion. You become passionless, desireless. There is no mine and thine in you. There is no the egotistic self in you. That ego is not in you. You won the game. Sashanti madhigacchati. The moksha, the freedom, the peace, eternal peace is yours. So you gain the infinite by ignoring the false, finite ego. That is the camp. Sakshi versus ego. Om Purnamada Purnamidam.
Making one small announcement. If anybody would like to order USB flash drives with any recordings from this camp, I'm putting the order forms on the table in the hallway. You should know that these sessions are on YouTube already, but in case you wanted to have the files of audio or video, you can give the form to me, and I'll have those flash drives to the bookstore by 1:30. If you need it sooner, you let me know. Thank you.